Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am 7Gross6 and I am the DM of 7th Roll. And we have now reached, for the moment at least, the last video on the Elemental Master. We have finally gotten through all of the changes that we wanted to make, except for the last subclass, which is going to be this video. So yeah, after this, I will have made the, I'm assuming, final 0.5 version. And then I'm going to have some people test it out, see what they think about it. If you want to be one of those people, you know what to do. I don't know what version is going to be out at the moment that I upload this video. I have no clue. Because as I said, I'm recording all of these like back to back. But yeah, we'll see. So we have now gotten through the main class. We've gone through 3 of the 4 current paths. So let's have a look at the final path. Now, people who have seen the previous video already probably know what the final path is going to be, the path of the negative energy. So if you've seen the previous video, you know that there in the elemental plane model, the cosmology of D&D, there are the 4 basic elemental planes, and then you have a positive energy plane and a negative energy plane. Previous subclass was based on the positive energy plane. This one is going to be focused on the negative energy plane, or the plane of death. You're going to notice that this subclass in some ways is pretty much the counterpart of the positive energy. And I personally, just from a flair perspective, already kind of like that. I'm not going to say that it's not a supportive class or subclass. It is kind of supportive in a way. But at the same time, it has a couple more, like, you know, of those things where it's like, I'm going to play with my opponents. One of the things that I kind of want to do, just like with what I have here and once I've kind of updated, is like make like a villain out of this, because this feels like good villain material, kind of. But anyway, let's have a look. So, first of all, at level 3, Necrotic Blast. You're going to notice immediately this is just a flip side of the Radiant Blast from the previous subclass. When you choose this path at level 3, your connection to the negative energy plane allows your range of elemental powers to grow. You can now choose to deal necrotic damage when you cast the Elemental Blast cantrip. So again, this allows you to cast Elemental Blast, and instead of fire, piercing, bludgeoning, whatever, allows you to pick necrotic. Simple as that. Additionally, when you deal necrotic damage using the Elemental Blast cantrip, you can put a curse on a target. This curse will give the target -1 on all ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws until the end of your next turn. The target cannot be affected by more than 1 curse of this type at the time. However, previous curse can be replaced by a new one. Now, and I'm immediately going to talk about this. You can also burst it, as in the bursted blasts. And for every elemental affinity point you spend, the curse is made more powerful, giving an additional -1. Now, this one is slightly balanced already, because you might have noticed that there's one very big difference between this one and Radiant Blast. Radiant Blast lasts, or the blessing from Radiant Blast lasts a minute. This one lasts until the end of your next turn. Now, there's 3 things that I can do. I can leave it as it is. I can change this to go to -1 on ability checks, attack rolls, or saving throws, same way as Radiant Blast. Or I can do that and make this also last a minute. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for option 2, which is the weakest of the 3. Why? Again, we're kind of comparing this to similar spells in D&D, right? The problem with this curse is that the only thing you can compare it to is Bane. Now, what does Bane do? Bane allows you to force up to 3 creatures to make a charisma saving throw. And if they fail, they take a d4, or you can roll a d4 against, I think, all of their attack rolls and saving throws. I'm actually going to look it up just so I don't fuck up the spell. Loading. Please don't tell me the internet of my laptop crashed again. Thank you. Must make a charisma saving throws. And whenever a target that fails the saving throw makes an attack roll or saving throw, must roll a d4. Within 30 feet. Also pretty important. I actually don't know what the raise on bless is. Now, why am I saying this? There's two very big differences between this effect and the previous one of Radiant Blast. Namely, this effect, the Necrotic Blast, does not have a cantrip counterpart. Which means there's nothing that I can compare it to there. It does, however, have Bane as a counter. And Bane does a similar thing to Bless, in that it removes a d4 rather than adds it, but it still requires a charisma saving throw. Right? So it is weaker. This effect does not require a save. And, again, does it on all ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say or. Again, I'm going to say ability checks, attack rolls. Actually, am I? Yeah. I'm going to say ability checks, attack rolls, or saving throws. However, then there's the question of, do you want to have it last for a minute? And honestly, the answer to that at this point is going to be no. It is until the end of your next turn, which is, you can force a save afterwards, and they still take the d4. The problem that I just have is I don't like it to have it last a minute. There's also less that, this subclass doesn't capitalize off of curses as much as the previous subclass capitalizes off of blessings. Which, to be fair, is not a lot, but it does capitalize off of it. Actually, no, it capitalizes off of it a lot. It has like 3 of its 5 features use the blessings in some way. So, for me, I'm not a fan. I'm going to be honest. So I'm just going to switch this to or. Or attack rolls, and then or saving throws, your choice, until the end of your next turn. This is something that I need feedback on. I don't know. It's very possible that this is too weak at this point. I don't know. I might switch this to a minute. I might. I might even switch it to all attack rolls and saving throws and leave out ability checks. Because I don't know how many times you really want to have an opponent's creature lose an ability check. Like, the thing is, like, you want to buff your player's ability checks sometimes, right? This is the thing of, like, I'm allowing you to cast the Radiant version of Elemental Blasts and give one of your allies a +1 to their ability check if you want to. But this, you don't necessarily want to nerf an opponent's ability checks that much. I think that's also the reason why there's not really a cantrip for it. So personally, that's another change that I'm thinking about. Again, feedback is always appreciated. But this is the current version. Then negative material power, very similar to positive material power. It's late. Negative material power, at third level, you get the power to bring people closer to their death. You are capable of casting Toll the Dead as a cantrip. Now, why is there no second cantrip? 2 reasons. One, I didn't find one that I liked to be alongside this one. I think Chilling Touch would be like the one, and technically Chilling Touch is already kind of in here. And I also feel like that's more... I personally, to be fair, you can't get Chill Touch if you go Elemental Negative, because you don't get cantrips apart from Elemental Blast, right? But I just don't like Chill Touch because it feels more like an ice cantrip to me than a necrotic cantrip. You know what I mean? So this is the only cantrip that I like. And to be fair, and I do want to say this, Toll the Dead in base does as much damage as Sacred Flame, but in theory it goes up to a d12. And there's very few instances I feel where it doesn't deal a d12. Because as long as the target has taken damage, it'll take a d12. So, Anyway. Now, I think this is fine for starting. Cursed Attack. When you reach level 5, you become capable of attacking cursed targets from distance. This is, I think, the only... no, it's not the only... Oh, no. Is it? You know, I think this is the only feature of the negative that actually uses the curses. So when you reach level 5, you can use your bonus action to teleport to a creature affected by the curse from your Necrotic Blast feature and make 1 melee attack against them. So you can pretty much just like and attack them. After you've used this ability on them, the curse is immediately removed. To be fair, this is kind of the way you want to play this, right? You can curse them and then immediately use your bonus action to go to them and attack them, or you can curse them, wait around, and if they're not dead, teleport to them, finish them off, or attack them, and then still have another blast going, right? Or you can blast someone else, teleport to the first target, kill them, right? Those are all things. One of the fun parts of this, at this point, it does not have a range. So if someone tries to flee away, is like 120 feet away from you, you bam, and you still hit them. So honestly, because of the fact, I think I would put a maximum range on this if this were to go to a minute. If I would change this to a minute, there would be a maximum range on this. The thing is, because this only lasts until the end of your next turn, like, what's the maximum distance that they're going to get away from you unless they're like an ancient dragon, which like wing beats dashes with 80 feet of flying speed. I think they get like 200 feet, and that's like the only instance where you're like, bam. And to be fair, at this point, you're 200 feet away from the rest of the party on top of an ancient dragon that you may or may not have damaged a little. It might have tickled. Oh, tickles. Okie dokie. Oh my fucking god, where did that come from? So yeah, that's the point behind Cursed Attack. So I at this point, I'm not going to put a maximum range on this teleport. It's just, you teleport to the target. Undead Servant, and this is one of my favorite little abilities that I invented. When you reach level 7, the power of death comes forth from your spells, allowing you to create servants from the dead. Whenever you kill a creature that is neither undead or a construct, pretty important, using necrotic damage, you can spend 2 elemental affinity points to create a skeleton. The skeleton is equal to the skeleton in the PHB, with the following changes. Its hit points are equal to your elemental master level. So let's say that you're a level 10 elemental master, you will get a skeleton with 10 hit points. It does not carry a sword, therefore the creature's short sword attack is replaced by bite. which has an attack roll of 2 plus strength to hit, 1 target, and deals 1d4 plus strength piercing damage. This should be their strength modifier, by the way. I should probably put that in there now that I think. Yes. Yes. Should put that. Sorry. I had to mute myself there for a second. Strength mod 2 hits and dex mod. And then here also mod piercing damage and dex mod. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was necessary. It didn't fuck up anything. No, okay. So your skeleton gets 2 attacks. It gets a bite attack, which is 2 plus its strength modifier to hit. 1 target deals 1d4 plus strength mod piercing damage. Does not carry a bow, but it has some residual necrotic damage, so you can shoot off these necrotic blasts. Giving it, 2 plus dex mod to hit 1 target and deals 1d4 plus dex mod necrotic damage. And here's the fun part: its strength and dexterity values. These aren't his modifiers. Its strength and dexterity values are equal to 10 plus half your elemental master level. And one important thing that I should probably specify, if that's rounded up or rounded down, it's supposed to be rounded down. So pretty much at level 3, they have 11 strength and 11 dex. At level 4, they have 12 strength, 12 dex, right? Which means at level 4, well, technically you'll never reach level 4. But that's level 7. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. Rounded down is 3. So they'll have 13 strength, 13 dex, which means they have a +1 modifier to their strength and their dex, meaning they deal 3. They use a +3 to hit, and that would be 1d4 plus 1 damage, or +3 to hit, 1d4 plus 1 damage. And over time, they become stronger. CR is treated as 0 at any point in time, and it gains a +1 to attack and damage rolls for each creature that is currently affected by the curse of your necrotic blast feature. I just realized that there is a second ability that does get affected by it. Is immediately destroyed when it hits 0 hit points and 1 minute after it was created. You can only have 1 skeleton. This is like the one reason that I might put this to a minute. I completely forgot about this ability, actually. I'm gonna keep it, don't get me wrong. But pretty much this is just a point of like, you kill something. Yeah. This kind of makes the argument for making it a minute, doesn't it? But then that would make the argument for giving this a distance. Would it though? Does it have to have a distance? Like a minute, 60, they can get pretty far. But then again, do you want to teleport that far at that point? If it's like a giant creature that can move 120 feet each turn? I mean, I don't know about that. It's you can try. Of course you can. Try to fight it. You have to go by yourself. I'm debating this now. Do I want to change this to a minute? Yeah, I do. I do. I do. Do I want to make them roll a save for it, though? Like, at the end of each of their turns, they can roll a... Would it be a charisma save, then? Yeah. At the end of each of their turns, the target can roll a charisma saving throw to remove the effect. Remove the curse. Roll a charisma saving throw against your spell save DC to remove the curse. You know what? I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do it like this. So it stays for a minute, but they get to save at the end of each turn. Yes, I like this more. I like this more because that way there's a way for them to get rid of it, and at the same time there's like this. Right, there's the thing. The one reason that I didn't put a charisma save on it, because the one reason that I didn't put a charisma save on it is you're going to be doing this each turn. So a lot of creatures are going to get a charisma save. Actually, I just realized Bane doesn't allow you to make a charisma save after. Huh. You know what? Yeah, no, then I'm just gonna... Yeah, then I'm just gonna leave it for a minute. Yeah, you know what? Then I'm just gonna leave it for a minute. Then I'm just gonna do that. You know what? Yeah, sure. Then I'm just gonna remove this save for now and just leave it for a minute. And then you can like power up your skeleton over time, which I think is kind of cool. Plus, to be fair, you have to kill something before you can make the skeleton. I will do one thing. You can use your reaction and spend 2 elemental affinity points. I am gonna make this a reaction because this feels like it needs a reaction. All right, so that should kind of fix that. Okay, Death's Breath. When you reach level 11, the power from the negative energy plane has started seeping into your body. You can now choose to be treated as an undead for any effect that affects undead. Additionally, you can spend 2 affinity points to create an undead aura that affects for any effect that affects or doesn't affect undead. Additionally, you can spend 2 affinity points to create an undead aura. Any undead creatures within 10 feet of you gain advantage on all attacks they make for the next minute. However, while this effect is active, you are treated as undead for all effects affecting undead, affecting or not affecting undead. So pretty much you have to see this as like, usually you're like half undead, half not, so you can kind of pick and choose. Like if the cleric at some point does a destroy undead or fear undead, you can choose, okay, I'm not undead. If you have this up and then your cleric does that effect, no, you're an undead at this point. So, no, you're an undead at this point. So, make your save or be frightened, bitch. Although I do wonder how Destroy Undead would work with that, because I don't know. Players don't technically have a CR, so I would assume Destroy Undead doesn't work on you, but Frightened probably does. Yeah. And then Ultimate Negative. When you reach level 17, you have learned the Ultimate Negative Elemental Magic. You can now cast Finger of Death, the Finger of Death spell at the cost of 7 affinity points. Some people might be wondering, why didn't I pick another spell? Why did I pick a 7 affinity point or a level 7 spell? The reason is 1 Finger of Death creates undead, which, works with Death's Breath. Second, and maybe a little bit more importantly, I'm also, by the way, thinking of adding Raise Dead. Raise Dead? No. Summon Dead? I don't know. Summon Undead, maybe. Actually, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna look at that. Also, I didn't like giving them the level 9 spell. The one level 9 spell that I liked for this class, or for this subclass, was Shadow Word. Shadow Word? No. Power Word. Shadow Word is Hearthstone. Power Word Kill. And I don't like Power Word Kill as a spell, just in general. So I wanted to have a spell that was useful. Now, one thing that I'm going to check, I feel like I'm reading cautious a lot in these videos for some weird reason. What does Tasha's have to do with my class? To be fair, I never based this class on Tasha's because Tasha's was never out when I was working on it. So, you know, there is that. That might have something to do with it. Let's look. So 105. Actually kind of curious now. Summon undead. Where is it? Summon beast, summon elemental, summon shadow spawn. Actually, that could be fun. Summon a shadowy spirit. Yes, that is the way that it's pronounced. 7. Good job. Choose an emotion, fury, despair, or fear. Say what? Okay, sure. That's kind of cool. Yeah. You know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna add. You can cast Finger of Death spell at the cost of 7 affinity points, or the Summon Undead spell at the cost of 3 affinity points. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna do this differently. Cost of 7 affinity points. Cast a spell you can, and then you can also cast the Summon Undead spell at the cost of 3 affinity points. And then I'm gonna do this one the same way that haste works. Do you require the material components? You're level 17 at this point. You're level 17 at this point. If you don't have a gilded skull worth 300 gold pieces while you've been summoning undead the entire time, you're not doing your job right. So, use the material component. Excuse me. So, I think that's it, actually. I think that finishes up the negative energy. This took longer than I thought. I had to, spend a little time thinking about the saving throw and stuff. About the curse. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, for today at least, for this recording day, this is going to be the last version. I don't know. It's very possible, like, the week after this video gets uploaded, I'm going to, like, upload update 0.6 and, you know, have fun with that. I'm going to see about that. It's also the possibility that if you, like, click on the videos that, you know, the version changes. I am starting to spend some time with this class again, so I don't know. But that pretty much gets us through the entire Elemental Master class, so I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, I probably should change this to 0.5, because this is 0.5.6. If you did enjoy this, you can click the subscribe button. I will try to make a little bit more homebrew content in the future so that we can talk a little bit about that, discuss that a little bit more. Other than that, we also still do the one-shots and the stories and all that stuff. At this point, you know, Stones and Birds should still be going on, so, you know, I hope so. Unless the channel's been taken down. At which point, how are you seeing this? So yeah, so I'm gonna try to continue this series a little further. I have ideas for like classes, subclasses, stuff like that I kind of want to build out, but I don't want to make videos about them until I have a solid idea that I can work with. So, you know, that is going to take a little bit. Other than that, again, feedback is appreciated. I am looking to improve this class. I'm not going to promise you that I will implement your feedback, but I will promise you that I will try to read it. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been 7 Draws to 6 with the Elemental Master. Until next time.